Welcome back. Now, Jacob Zuma's electoral court victory is counted as a big win for the MK party. This is the outcome paves the way for the former president to make a return to parliament. Susan Booysen, who's an analyst and visiting professor from the Wits Business School of Governance, joins us with her analysis on how it shakes things up for May the 29th. Prof, always a pleasure. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alexander.
I will tell you, Prof, I did not see this coming. I'm keen to get, the overall sentiment here when political analysts such as yourselves were looking at this court case within, the Jacob Zuma saga, I guess. Did we expect this to result in a victory?
Well, mostly no, because on the face of it, it seemed to be such a clear-cut case that Jacob Zuma has had this finding against him, 15 months imprisonment, regulations say you can run, be a candidate, etc., and a voter if it's not more than 12 months, etc. But then about a week and a half before yesterday, I started seeing all kinds of reports talking about the nuances. Was it a criminal conviction? Was it a civil conviction or ruling against him that he had? And did he have a chance to appeal that? No. So it wasn't a conventional court case, although it was something that was upheld in the highest courts of the land. So it became clear to me in a run-up to yesterday that there are some uncertainties, and even before Zuma's lawyers, Darlin Polfo, especially got up and made his case, I was certain there were going to be complications, and complications we're certainly seeing right now.
Prof, it's a matter of interpretation, jurisdiction. I do understand that the biggest, issue coming out of the courts here is the fact that the IEC cannot enforce this Section 47 of the Constitution. Is that really the foundation of this ruling at this point?
Yes, indeed. There are so many complex uncertainties going forward. In the first place, it's also the Electoral Court. They just gave the ruling yesterday, the order, but not yet the reasons. We hear the full reasons will be forthcoming next week. And the IEC in a statement has also indicated that they're really looking forward to that. The IEC could still appeal it, but we know, given the very tight timelines and the fact that timelines are gazetted, it will take some effort and some big disruptions to uproot that. So there is a small possibility that there could still be appeals against this ruling. The exact details as to how that would unfold and align with the guaranteed electoral process, that will take a huge amount of clarification. So it's a big set of risk factors that are now ending in the IEC's lap.
And I must ask you, a line that's been blurred for me here, Prof, then does become about the IEC's, the jurisdiction, the powers that it actually enjoys. And I guess this is a whole new conversation, except like you say, we're too close to elections for us to have this conversation in great detail.
Yes, it is. There are many clarifications as to disqualification, etc., in the broader constitutional scheme of things that we would really benefit if the Constitutional Court would give clarification on that. But it's just a complete, seemingly misalignment with this particular set of elections going forward. And so I think we have to brace ourselves that we're going to go into these elections with these uncertainties hanging. It's possible that, yes, it's likely that Zuma will become a member of parliament. And then when it comes to the inauguration of members of parliament, there would still be openings that parliament could object to his inclusion, given that there are not other similar cases and other legal precedents, of course, that may preclude that. So, but this time around, I think this is the type of election we're going to see, this inner ANC contest between the ANC and the MK party, between Ramaphosa and Zuma, between their respective factions. And that only seemingly qualifying to be under the auspices of multi-party politics, Zuma being a leader of a new party, yet want to be a part of the ANC still. It's really ANC deep factional battles that are playing out now in the inter-party domain. And that uncertainty is such a given, and that will go into the next term of Parliament. So parliamentary politics there could take on a very new dimension, and that is a new dimension that is then superimposed on the uncertainties that are already prevailing around coalition politics and who might constitute a governing coalition should the ANC indeed end up below 50%.
I must also ask you, Prof, I guess a big one for many people here is, should former President Jacob Zuma become a member of Parliament again, what happens to all his presidential privileges? Is that a reset? Is that do those go away? There's a big issue here, I guess, with people then trying to figure out where the state funding a former president would fall, should he then be back in Parliament.
Yes, yes. Those are big questions, and I definitely do not know all of the legal answers. I can think back immediately of a precedent with former president and former deputy president Kgalema Motlanthe. When he came in as acting president at some stage, he had already been president for a short period before that. And then when he came back to Parliament, he chose to go back without any new salary, etc. And that may set an example as to how other persons of high standing have handled it. But there are many choices and many legalities that will enter into that process.
Prof, I must ask you, we don't have much time left here. Is this a democracy growth spurt that we're seeing here? Or is this just the complexities of trying to mature as a democracy? We're only 30 years old.
Yes, yes, and we're learning rapid lessons as to how democracy mature or should perhaps not be maturing. But it's such a fascinating factor, because the ANC has been such a dominant party, such a prominent former liberation movement turned political party. We've really had a form of these liberation dominant party politics within the broader shell of multi-party democracy. And this is a form that has now become more or less reach a point of being unsustainable, and something is giving and something is breaking. We do not know exactly what yet, but the next 2 or 3 months will definitely show us what is holding and what is breaking.
Prof, always a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you for your time this afternoon. That was Booysen. She's an analyst and a visiting professor from the Wits Business School of Governance.